Prabhakar Pendse. This is graduation season. How many of you have sat through and listened to those obligatory commencement speeches, which are long, scholastic, solemn, and hypnotic? Well, this morning, Prabhakar wants you to listen to an out-of-the-box commencement speech. The event was Tulane University commencement speech from 2009 Katrina class. Side note, Katrina hurricane was in August of 2005. The speaker was a popular talk show host, openly gay comedian Ellen DeGeneres, who hails from below the sea level city of New Orleans and is married to an Australian actress, Portier. Speaking from the advanced interpretive reading project number 5, the oratorical speech title, Your Tango. Prabhakar's time will be 8 to 10 minutes. Please welcome Prabhakar Pendse.
Chancellor Brian James, President Cohen, distinguished guest, undistinguished guest, you know who you are, especially all of you graduating class of 2009. I realize that most of you are hungover and have splitting headache and haven't slept since Fat Tuesday. But you can't graduate until you hear me out. When I was asked to make the commencement speech, I immediately said yes. Then I went to look up in the dictionary what commencement meant. But most of our books in our house are Portias, and they're all written in Australian. So I had to break the word down myself to commencement. Common cement. You commonly see cement on sidewalks. Sidewalks have cracks, and if you step on the crack, you break your back. So that's that. But I am honored that you have asked me to be here to speak for the common cement speech. I thought you had to be famous. Alumnus, alumni, alumnus. You had to be graduate of this school. But I didn't go to college here, and I don't know if our president knows that I never had a college degree. But hey, look at me. I'm famous. I'm a huge celebrity. I'm here because of you. Because after that horrific Katrina hurricane, I can't think of more tenacious, more courageous graduating class. I'm here because I love New Orleans, and I'm the people who have New Orleans spirit, you. I was born and raised here. I spent my formative years here. When I finished school, I was completely lost. I had no specific ambition. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did everything. I shipped oysters. I was hostess. I was bartender. I was waitress. I painted houses, and I sold vacuum cleaners. When I was here, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, for example, I was dating men. Anyway, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life, and the way I ended up in this path was because of a tragic event. I may have been about 19, and my girlfriend at that time was killed in a car accident. I was devastated, sad, depressed. I was living in a tiny basement apartment. I had no money, no heat, no air. I had a mattress on the floor. And I was soul searching all alone. I was asking, why? Why me? I was thinking there must be something I can do. I thought, wouldn't it be convenient if I could just pick up the phone and call God and ask questions? And I started writing. And what poured out of me was that imaginary conversation with God. And I finished writing it and looked at it, and I said to myself, I don't know how to do stand-up comedy. There is no club in this town. But I said, I am determined. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it on Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. At that time, he was king. And I'm going to be the first woman in the history of the show to be called over and sit down with him to present my presentation. So it took 4 years. I worked hard in presentations. And then I was the first woman in the history of show to sit down with Johnny Carson because of that phone conversation that I wrote, talking with God. And I started this path of stand-up comedy, and it was successful, it was great, but it was hard because I was trying to please everybody. And I had this secret that I was keeping, that I was gay. And I thought if people found out, they wouldn't like me, they wouldn't laugh at me. My career progressed. I got my sitcom. I was very successful and popular and famous. And I thought, what if they found out I'm gay? They will never watch, and this was a long time ago, when all the presidents were white presidents. I used to think, my life is not going the way I want. So I finally decided I was living with so much of shame and so much of fear that I couldn't just live like that anymore. And I decided to come out and make it creative. And I was thinking, what's the worst thing that can happen? I can lose my career. And I did lose my career. The show was cancelled after 6 years of good rating. They never called me. I read it in the paper about cancellation. After that, the phone didn't ring for 3 years. I had no offers. Nobody wanted to deal with me. Yes, I was getting from the letters from the kids that almost committed suicide but didn't. That was because what I did. And I realized that I had purpose. Still, it was a bad time. I was angry, I was sad, and then I was offered a talk show. More stations came up. And because they thought nobody would watch me, my friends were with me, I kept up with that path. But really, when I look back at it, I wouldn't change a thing. For me, the most important thing in your life is to live your life with integrity and not to give in to peer pressure. To live your life as an honest and compassionate person, to contribute in some way. So to conclude my conclusion, follow your passion. Stay true to yourself. Don't give advice. Don't take anyone's advice. So my advice to you is to be true to yourself, and everything will be fine. You have already survived Hurricane Katrina. What else can happen to you? And as I mentioned before, some of the most devastating things that happen to you will teach you the most. And now you know the right question to ask in your first job interview. Like, is it above sea level? So to conclude my conclusion that I have previously concluded in the commencement speech, I guess what I'm trying to say is life is like one big Mardi Gras. But instead of showing your boobs, show people your brain. And if they like it, they will give you a job. So Katrina, 2009 class, I say congratulations. Follow the things I just mentioned to you, my own experiences. It will be advantageous for you to remember it and follow it. Remember this though. If you don't remember the thing I said, you're going to be okay. Because dum-dum, 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 let's dance. Wilmington Toastmasters.